Hello, my name is Maggie Willis, and this is a presentation on an interview I did with a public library director for 650 Library Management. Hope you enjoy. Let's do a quick overview of the presentation. First, I'll be introducing the library and the librarian that I interviewed and discussing my method. Next will be results in the form of tasks, answers to my top 5 questions, including lessons learned and advice, and finally I will be relating the interview to our class readings. And last will be conclusions. The library I chose is a large public library in a small southern city. This library is different in that it's a municipal library rather than part of a county-run library system, which is the norm in North Carolina. There are only 11 municipal libraries in the state. The library serves both city and county residents, although it has a stronger emphasis on the city rather than everyone in the county. The area in which the library is located is made up of a strong manufacturing base with a rather diverse population. I interviewed the library director at this public library. Let's call her Martha for the purposes of this presentation. She has been at this library for about a year. As part of her job, she oversees 8 departments, including 7 interlibrary divisions and 1 history museum. She is ultimately responsible for every member of the library and museum staff, although on a daily basis 3 people answer directly to her: the public services manager, the assistant director, and the IT director. These 3 managers have other managers under them, and so on down the chain. The 3 main areas that comprise Martha's duties as a library director are guidance, budget, and liaison. She considers the most important aspect of her job to be to guide the direction of her library. To illustrate this point, she mentioned that her library is currently working on the creation of a new strategic plan. This strategic plan will last for the next 3 years, and they just finished writing a grant for the North Carolina State Library to hopefully get funds to help them hire a consultant to write the plan. She mentioned that budget takes up a great deal of her time, and that she also is a liaison between the library and staff, patrons, and the library board, the Friends of the Library, and other societies, and also the Historical Society, which runs the History Museum that she's in charge of along with the entire public library. Martha had never heard of the 1/3 rule, but once I explained it to her, she decided that it applied pretty well to her management technique. The only difference would be for her that she spends more time with business operations and employees and less time with patrons. She didn't give me an exact percentage, but she did mention that she really enjoys spending time with patrons and loves to walk around the library and talk to employees as well as patrons whenever possible, and that it's incredibly important to her as a director to build relationships with the customers she's serving and with the people who are working for her. Martha's idea of a good leader is someone who has a clear idea of where their organization needs to be in the community and is able to work with staff, board members, customers, and funding authorities to guide the organization in that direction. She also considers time spent with staff to be of the utmost importance and considers her staff to be her most valuable resource. She says that a good leader has a vision, but is careful to make sure that the vision is realistic and doable by the people who are ultimately responsible for implementation. Martha considers her main and possibly only problem at this point to be budgetary in nature. As a public librarian, she has a stagnant or constantly shrinking budget with a growing population. She's under pressure to introduce new programs to meet her customers' needs, such as job skills and ebooks initiatives. She's also under pressure to maintain standards of traditional programs, such as book checkout and children's programming. The problem lies in finding a balance and allocating the necessary funds to old and new programs. As part of lessons learned, Martha suggests that one of the worst things a new manager can do is suggest change at the wrong time. The wrong time being when they first start at their job. It's best for a manager to first build up trust and relationships with their employees before they start changing things. She says that one of her main failures in the past has been a failure of personal relationships. She says that a manager can only go so far towards helping people work together, and that sometimes some people just can't work together, and a manager needs to be able to deal with these situations. As for Secrets 1 and 2, Martha pretty much covered that in the mentioning of their new strategic plan, which will last for the next 3 years. They're about to be in the process of deciding what they want for their library, and as part of this process, they'll be incorporating a discovery of what their customers want. As an illustration of her library's command over Secret 3, Deliver Plus 1, Martha mentions some of their newer initiatives, such as their ebook and job skills initiatives. She also mentions one of their more traditional aspects, their children's programming, of which their library is very proud. Martha had never seen the 12 questions before, but when I showed them to her, she thought they were excellent and asked to keep my copy. She says that people spend most of their lives at work and that they need to feel like what they are doing makes a difference and that they are appreciated. Martha claims that the first thing that she does in a new situation is to talk with everyone, from custodial staff to management, and ask them first what they think their organization does really well, or what they really like about their organization, and second, what they think needs improvement, or what their organization can be doing better. To Martha, communication is key to a successful organization. In conclusion, the gist of Martha's management style is to put people first. Respect, communication, and trust are the foundation on which to build a successful library. This concludes my presentation. Thanks for listening.